is the action reaction. Watch NHL hockey.
Jakes McDonald and Herb Brooks at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit as we get set for the third period. A crowd of 19,875 on hand tonight. The 102nd consecutive crowd of over 19,000. Greg Steffen clearing things from around the front of the Detroit goal. John Van Beesbroek protecting the goal down to the left. There's still a minute remaining in Torrey Robertson's holding penalty. So Michel Bergeron has the Ranger power play out there. Gary Wilson at center ice. Dahlin is on the right side. Sandstrom is on the left. That's Leach handling the puck. He and James Patrick teamed up together, and Sandstrom fires it in around the boards, but it's being called back on an offside. That chewed up 10 seconds of the remaining time on Robertson's holding call. Brian Mullen at the Ranger bench has had a tough second half here following the All-Star game. Picked up a point in Sunday night's loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins, his first point since the 11th of March. Or condense that, first point in 6 straight games.
Good time for New York right now to get back in this ball game, convert this power play, bring it in within one with the whole third period ahead of them.
But Detroit trying to deny that as Chason broke up Patrick's pass. The puck went to the corner, however. Now Dahlin gets checked. And Yzerman has backhanded it into center ice. Leach back for the Rangers. Gave it to James Patrick. Patrick plays it to the left side out of the reach of Gary Wilson. Steffen held it up, but the Rangers move it around the board smartly to Sandstrom. Pulled it back on O'Connell, feeds the blue line, and got it right back from Patrick. Patrick gives it to Sandstrom again. Everybody very well covered and no movement on the Ranger power play. Now Sandstrom with a shot that went wide of the net. John Chabot picks it up on the right wing boards and dumps it down the ice. And that's going to kill off the penalty against Robertson. James Patrick starts out of the zone as Robertson is back out on the ice. Rangers dump one in wide. Zombo plays it up the boards, but not out. There's Ogrodnik with a blast off the left pad of goaltender Greg Steffen. And Sean Burr has cleared the zone for Detroit. They come over the line. Robertson heads to the front of the net as Burr moves the puck toward the corner. Robertson gets to it there, bumped by Ogrodnik as they centered. Van Beesbroek down, and Burr bangs it in. He knocked it out of the air, and the Rangers are going to protest that the stick was over the shoulder level, but not so. Rob Schick stood and looked at it, signals the goal, and it's 4-1 Detroit.
Well, that's obviously a big goal, but that, from our vantage point, that might have looked too high, but it's a shoulder call. And Schick did not hesitate. That's right, Jakes. But from his vantage point, he might have had to look through some people. Now watch Burr come in here. Just see if you can follow him all the way through there. New York could not come up with a handle on this puck in the corner. And again, Ogrodnik maybe checking a little too high with his stick. The initial shot goes, well, awful close. Awful close. Awful close. Ogrodnik couldn't control the man and the puck. Torrey Robinson not muscled in the corner. Van Beesbroek could not control the rebound, and Burr maybe let that thing come right down into that shoulder, tight plane, and then just got good wood on it.
I don't think there was any doubt, but the stick was below the shoulder level. I'm glad you don't have the whistle.
Well, initially, I didn't think so, but you can see it on the second thing. He let the puck come down. It was higher than his shoulder initially.
Now the Rangers are offside going into the Detroit end of the ice. So Sean Burr gets his 19th goal of the season at the 125 mark. And it is 4-1 Detroit on the season. First time, in fact, the only time that the two teams played at Madison Square Garden. Detroit won 5-3. Here's another look at the goal by Sean Burr. And we're going to see the reaction as right there, just below the shoulder level, and Jacques Demers.
Well, Jakes, we talk about the importance of Jacques. Boy, I tell you, 2 points, touchdown, whatever you want to call it. I tell you, he can run this. He'll orchestrate this crowd into a frenzy.
The guy you saw in behind him, of course, was Glenn Hanlon, the backup goaltender for tonight's game. He reacted before Jacques realized it was in. Goaltenders always have that extra sense, don't they, when it's going to go in?
You talked about the importance of controlling the rebound, and that's where Van Beesbroek had the trouble there. He could not come up with the first shot, and then the second one went up high and then went over him, and that's when Burr just batted it out of the air. Controlling the rebound really is so important for the goalies down deep.
Now Dave Barr brings Detroit over the line with a centering pass to Oates. Oates puts it out in front. Zombo's shot deflected off the diving defenseman. Petit comes back to the right side. Doug Huda with a drive blocked in front of the net. Zombo couldn't get it to the corner. Klima broke up the original rush. Now over center ice and on into the zone comes Nyland. He takes a dive and there's going to be a penalty. Nyland went off the end of the board. Splish splash, and Detroit will be a man short, but the Red Wings are in command here, 4-1. Well, Chris Nyland over in the bench explaining just how he was tripped up here. You see him move through some traffic. Now they're, oh my goodness.
You call it, Jigs. He took a dive, but you're going to get that call. You know, now the referee's looking at, well, New York's on the road, a little frustrated. Maybe that first goal that they took away from New York early in the game, that has a factor. 3 goals up for Detroit. They're not going to object too much.
And here's a chance for Dolan, and he shot it wide with Stefan down. Sandstrom puts it out of the corner. The shot from Patrick is blocked in front. Norwood gets back to his skate slowly as Yzerman shoots one in off Leach. Rattles around behind the Ranger net. James Patrick trying to dig it out of the mesh. Succeeds. You know, looking at Nyland and thinking that there isn't a Hollywood talent scout in the audience tonight. They're all either in Hollywood or glued to the Academy Awards. They're taking place this evening. And that was some kind of a performance by Nyland, just diving after the little tap by Klima and gets this power play opportunity. It's the 3rd in a row for the New York Rangers. They move over the line, led by Sandstrom, but he's offside. He puts up a mild complaint here. The man moved in ahead of him. Michel Bergeron, his team has lost 2 in a row and 4 of the last 6.
Yeah, he's not very happy about this situation, and again, they're in that great fight for second place in that tough Patrick division with Pittsburgh. You'd like to see a little better flow to the game for his hockey club tonight, but their power play, again, you can't go into the playoffs 18th on your, or 16th on your penalty killing, 19th on your power play, and have a lot of confidence. They've got to just turn their specialty teams around real quick.
Now the Rangers finished 11th overall in the league last year, but missed the playoffs with 82 points, and they're stalled at 82 right now. But 82 this season, into the last few days of the season, is good for a 7th overall spot. There's a pad save off Stefan as David Shaw fired one, and the Rangers get to it again. Another dive, but no penalty this time. Harry Wilson picks it up over on the left wing boards. Wilson, nobody moving as he plays it back to the right side for Shaw. Shot one that was off the stick of Stefan. Here's Ogrodnik from back of the net. Lafleur parked out in front. Ogrodnik couldn't get to it. And referee Rob Schick has blown the whistle here. A high stick as Ogrodnik went down. They're checking now for blood. And referee Rob Schick wig-wagging some signals. Lafleur in to talk to him.
Jigs, I think he got Steve Chason down deep. He was in a little hand fight down there with Ogrodnik. Just put some pressure on him. You see that stick got him right there.
And it's going to be
a major. Down. Yeah, he's gone. There's no question about that. That was a good call.
So Chason leaves, heads down the walkway toward the Detroit dressing room. That'll be a major penalty plus a game misconduct. And the Rangers now will have a 2-man advantage for 31 seconds. Still that 31 remaining in Klima's tripping penalty. From Michel Bergeron's team down by 3. A chance here with the 5-minute major penalty to get themselves back into the hockey game.
Well, they've got to get themselves back in the hockey game, no question, but their power play, Jigs, as you pointed out, there's no movement. And therefore, Detroit killing a penalty, they just can stand there. They don't have to be a very dynamic hockey, or killing a penalty right now. They can be very static, but New York's got to start moving the puck, a little picking, take some shots, tip and screen down deep. But again, the people away from the puck have to get open up the passing lane, shoot off some pass, get something going. But they've been very, very lethargic.
And over and above the major penalty to Chason, you just saw Guy Lafleur in the penalty box, so it is not a 2-man advantage. Lafleur and Chason penalized at 4:15. Minor penalty up on the board. Let's listen in here.
Detroit penalties. Number 3, Steve Chason. 5 minutes for slashing and a game misconduct at 4:15. New York's Gay LaFleur, 2 minutes interference. Detroit's Steve Chason, 5 minutes for slashing, plus a game misconduct at 4:15.
Now there's the call. You heard the voice of Bud Lynch, longtime play-by-play broadcaster here in Detroit. Now the public address announcer. The Red Wings screaming at referee Rob Schick as the play moved out of the Detroit zone, and back with it is Leach. He gave it to Patrick. Dumps one in across the line. Sandstrom shoots off the right shoulder of Steffen. Yzerman gets to it and has cleared it out to center. Klima can't knock it around Leach. Then runs into Patrick, and here's Yzerman putting it in the Ranger zone. Games are at 5 aside. Klima's penalty having expired, obviously. He and Yzerman out on the ice. 1:05 left in LaFleur's penalty. And Huda moves it up to Peter Klima. Klima can't get it outside his own zone. That's Brian Leach. Bumped on the boards by Huda. Norwood played it around the boards, but not out. Kissio's shot is blocked by Huda. It comes right back to Petit. This is Leach turning on the right side. Petit got knocked down as he backed into Yzerman, and Leach shoots one high and wide of the net. Kissio looked up. There was Norwood. Look out. Here's Brian Leach turning, shoots off the post and in. Leach showing some great patience. Turns, holds the puck, and scores, making it 4-2 now.
Well, that was a great play by Brian Leach. There's where you might say, there's your Rookie of the Year in the National Hockey League. What a great play. And as you said, Jigs, what great presence, what great patience he has on this thing. Stayed with the puck. He was at the end of his shift. He was dead tired. And Kelly Kissio helped him out a little bit down deep by just touching the puck over. And now look at Leach come through there. Klima reaches for the puck. He went fishing. Leach put it right between his legs. Now look at bang, bang. Upside, high, short side again. Hand-eye coordination, body coordination, poise, and patience for a rookie in this league. That's an amazing play right there.
Yeah, gotta like him. 23 goals in his rookie season now, 69 points. Got injured 2 weeks ago tonight. First game back after that hip pointer, and he scores at the 5:44 mark. It is not a power play goal. The teams remain at 5 aside. Still 20 seconds in LaFleur's penalty. And then there will be a 3-minute power play opportunity for the Rangers. They watch the Red Wings battling on the boards here in the Ranger zone. They failed to come up with the puck, however. Deblois brings the Rangers in, and his shot takes off, ends up in the seats behind Greg Steffen.
You know, Jake, this is a great opportunity. When New York can go in a 4-on-4 situation with the skilled people they have, the Petits, the James Patrick, and Leaches, and then you add the Kerry Wilson, Thomas Sandstrom, you know, Guy Lafleur. They're a different team. Conversely, it hurts Detroit because they don't have the magic. They don't have a lot of players that can play in open ice. Yes, Gallant and an Yzerman, yes, and a Kleeman and Oates, but then they start dropping off. They don't have any point men that have magic back there. They don't have a James Patrick or, you know, a Brian Leach. If they ever had one of those type of defensemen, and Detroit's been looking for a couple defensemen like that for a long time to just spring some of their forwards loose. And that's why they're never in the high gear.
They're tough to come by. And there's Dolan with a shot that Steffen gets in front of. Rangers with the extra man now on the power play. Patrick at the right point managed to get it to Dolan. He's given it to Sandstrom. It got bumped off the puck by Barr. Comes back to Patrick, and he shot it off the post to the left of Steffen, and the Detroit Red Wings are able to clear it out.
New York's got to stretch the ice a little bit. Everything they're doing, Detroit has got to play in front of them.
Here's James Patrick, and this time he shoots it off the defenseman Norwood. Ends up in the corner. Dolan controlling it. Patrick backs up toward the point. Dolan plays it in deeper. Played it around Wilson, actually, and now it's cleared out. And Sean Burr plays it to John Shabbat. Shabbat over the line, trying to put the moves on Patrick, and it went off James Patrick's skate, picked up by Kerry Wilson.
It was a good play by John Shabbat. I thought he had James Patrick down deep enough to use him for a screen and take that shot.
Well, Grodnick rushing the puck back the other direction is turned back at the Detroit blue line, and here's Leach. Brian Leach from last year's U.S. Olympic team dumped it in, and Huda clears it right back out. The Rangers have given it to Nyland, who steps over the line, got knocked down. O'Connell has cleared the zone.
Jigsy, let me go back to the stretching the zone, and I sometimes using locker room terminology. But stretching his zone is maybe using the width and depth of the ice and putting somebody at their offensive blue line to get a couple of Detroit defensemen standing still and opening up the holes so their New York's forwards can jump into them.
Now New York right now in control of the play in the Ranger end of the ice. Grodnick comes out of the corner, feeding it back to Shaw. David Shaw dumps one in deep. Nyland went back in the net. The puck seemed to skip away from him, come out in front where Steffen cleared it. Now Kelly Kissio, the Ranger captain, moves into the face-off circle. Played it to Grodnick, to Kissio. He shoots. That's wide of Steffen. Held in by Mark Hardy. Hardy plays it around the boards. Chasing it is Shaw. Yzerman unable to knock it away from him. Shaw pinches in well. Goes to the corner. Tried to center it. Hit O'Connell. Comes back to Kissio. Kelly Kissio into David Shaw. Shaw at the edge of the circle. Some pushing and shoving in front as Nyland has moved out. The vision of Steffen at the moment. They play it cross ice. Hardy's centering attempt is blocked. And now Grodnick gets to it, and the net has come loose. 36 seconds, all that's left in the major penalty against Detroit. Chason gone from this game with a major penalty for slashing and a game misconduct. We have 11 minutes and 21 seconds left in the third period, but the Detroit margin has been cut to 2.
Jake, sometimes when you have a five-minute penalty, you might as well get 2 or 3 power play units, and then double shift them or get them out fast and get them in and develop a little rhythm. Sometimes that power play unit will stay on so darn long that their power play slows down. It plays right into the hands of the penalty killing unit, and this is the problem of New York right now. And they tried to get into a little umbrella there, but they were really lax getting into that. And Steffen, you know, he's getting a little help by Nyland going into net, and he just popped it off its standards. But again, 5-minute penalty says at least 2 power play units, maybe 3. Let them go for a minute, get them out, change them fast, develop a rhythm, and quick, because a lot of times, and this is what happened here with New York, one unit stays on too long, everything slows down to the point it's helping the team that's killing the penalty.
We watch this face-off develop outside the line now. Rangers lost it, and Huda has fired at the length of the ice, and Beesbrook steered it to the corner where Petit takes over. Lafleur out on the ice at the moment for the Rangers, comes down the left side as Petit rushes the puck, then shoots one. That one off the defenseman's stick and out into the concourse. That one sailed over the heads of all the folks in the standing room area.
Jigs, again, when you play Detroit with their defensemen who are not swift of foot, they don't have a lot of guys that have the quick feet right now. Again, I would try to, stretch the zone, get them in a situation. I talk about stretching the zone, almost like having a decoy at the offensive blue line. Get Detroit's defensemen standing still a little bit. And so the puck's not always in front of them. But right now, New York's playing into Detroit's hand, and the way Detroit is playing, they're going to be awful tough down the stretch with 11 minutes left.
And only 15 seconds left in the major penalty as Petit plays it around the boards. Jim Dill clears it to the line. It's picked up and shot down the ice by Sean Burr. Put it right on Van Beesbrook. Leach has it. Petit moves out on the right side. The pass into the center ice zone went to Sandstrom, and the crowd is applauding the fact that no damage was done on that major penalty to Chason. Granted, Leach did score, but it was while the teams were at 5 aside, and a backhander by Dolan just went wide of the net. Sandstrom holds it in with a pass to Dolan. He couldn't get it to Lafleur's stick, and here's Burr giving it to King. King puts it down into the Ranger zone where Leach picks it up. Leach, long pass off Sandstrom, and that's an offside pass and not a very good play out of the Ranger zone. They're trailing the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 4-2.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it. With Son of a Gun Protected from STP. If your dash looks dull, shoot it. Your seats are shot, shoot them. Your tires look flat, heck, shoot them too. Don't leave your roof a wreck. Give it some luster. Give your car high caliber protection with Son of a Gun from STP. Son of a gun. What a difference.
Another big contest in the Norris Division tonight. Minnesota playing at Toronto, and the Maple Leafs lead 2-1. Todd Gill and Vincent Dobfus have scored the second period goals for Toronto after Mark Habscheid had staked the Minnesota North Stars to a 1-0 lead. Habscheid's 23rd of the season. Domfus is 25th and Gill is 10th. So Toronto trying to keep their chances alive. They split a pair with the Red Wings on the weekend. They've beaten Minnesota 2 straight. They're 3-3-1 against Minnesota on the season in that game at Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. Toronto with 60 points, Chicago with 62, and the Blackhawks are at home to Quebec. So a lot of things can happen here in the final few days of the 88-89 regular season. Detroit trying to clinch the Norris Division tonight, leading the New York Rangers 4-2 as Torrey Robertson gave it to Joey Kocur. Dumped it in. Ruff back on the play. Moved it behind the net to Shaw. Shot it over Nyland's head, and Norwood gathers it in at center ice. Lee Norwood to Torrey Robertson. He turned it over. Here's Shaw across the line. Gave it to Nyland. He took it in his skates, but the play was offside. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel.
Determination, tight checking, magnificence, spirited play, razzle-dazzle, greatness, clutch goaltending, a little bit of luck, and goals. Lots of them. April 5th, the NHL's best take their best shot at bringing the Stanley Cup home. And we'll take you all the way to the finals.
On the channel you cheer for, Home Team Sports.
The Chicago Blackhawks, who are trying to maintain fourth place in the Norris Division, tied 1-1 with Quebec. That game is in Chicago. The Blackhawks have lost 3 in a row. They got the lead tonight, and then Quebec came back to tie it. Quebec has even made a goaltending change. Gosselin replacing Tugnut midway through the first period, but that's at the end of 1-1. Chicago and Quebec. That's not on the mind of Michel Bergeron, and certainly not on the mind of Jacques Demers at this moment. He knows that if his team can win tonight, they'll finish first in the Norris Division, and they'll meet the team that finishes fourth, either Chicago or Toronto.
When you look at this division, Jigs, there will be no upset. Any of the teams are capable of winning this playoff in the Norris. Anybody.
Really?
I don't see any upsets. I really don't. Whether it's St. Louis, Detroit, Minnesota, or Chicago, Toronto, there will be no upsets.
You heard it here, folks, right on Sports Channel. Make note of the date and the time, 9:40 Eastern on this Wednesday night. No upsets in the Norris Division this
No
year.
upsets. No, I don't think there's a big favorite. Let's put it that way. There will be no big favorites.
Here's Rudy Poshak getting a scoring opportunity, Herb.
Doesn't get too many, but he got to get a little snapshot off there. And again, Stefan is really focused in this game. He's playing very well tonight. Again, I refer to one stat that sort of tells the story over a long period of time. His save percentage, .872. He's a better goalkeeper. Goalkeeper like to get up in that .89 save percentage, but he's down a little bit, and that is the key stat, more so than the goals against, Jigs.
Mm-hmm. But again, you know, the saves, a lot of people will tell you, well, the shots on goal can be bumped up, bumped down in different arenas, different shot clocks. You know,
exactly.
Taxi meters, they don't always work.
No, that's a good point. And again, it's the quality of shots. It's not the quantity of shots. And sometimes they should start making a little graph or a little chart here in the National Hockey League and dissecting that offensive zone and showing where the shots are coming from. Then you'll see who has the better scoring opportunities.
I'm going to get you to do that some night.
Sure.
You volunteered, huh?
Yep, I'll do it.
Okay. Klima unable to complete the play in the Ranger zone, and now Kissio's unable to move it over the Detroit line cleanly. Here's Adam Oates being chased by Dolan as he fed it to Peter Klima for a shot. Van Beesbrook the save. He turned one way, and the puck went out the other. Oates gathers it in. Centers one in front, and too well covered was Oates, and then Klima's shot is blocked by Van Beesbrook. This is Oates. In front to Klima, backhander, Van Beesbrook down to make the save. Stuck out of the corner by Barr to Oates. He's all alone, shoots Van Beesbrook the save. Barr tees it up, in comes Zombo. Rick Zombo, the defenseman, joining the play, has given it to Oates. His centering attempt is blocked by Kissio, and finally recovered and cleared out by Brian Leach. Dolan without a stick, can't handle the puck at center ice, obviously, and now it's O'Connell moving it up quickly. Barr gives it to Oates. Waits outside the line, then turned on Lafleur. Barr gets it across the line, tying it up on the boards. Gallant trying to jab it loose. Referee Rob Schick with a good look at it. The puck still loose, they roll, and finally Lafleur is able to move it to the left side for Chris Nyland. Nyland and Leach have been the goal scorers tonight for the New York Rangers. Robertson, Klima, Fedek, and Burr scoring for Detroit. Gerard Gallant at center ice. Cross-ice pass right at the end of the shift here, and Dave Barr dumps it into the Ranger zone. It's picked off on the far side. Adam Oates can't get through the traffic. Out comes Lucien Deblois. Deblois joined now by Lafleur, who heads to the front of the net. Deblois got knocked down, and the Rangers clear the puck. Yzerman chasing it, trying to get a step on Petit. He's taken off the puck, and out comes the goalkeeper, Van Beesbroek. Getting it to Ruff. Now to Deblois. Gallant broke up that play at center ice, dropped it back to Norwood. Now Huda with a long pass off Gallant's stick. Gallant trying to get in around Petit. Centers, there's Yzerman with a shot. Van Beesbroek the save, and the rebound ended up in the corner. 6.5 minutes to go in the third period, Herb.
New York's forwards are doing nothing in the neutral zone to break the flow of Detroit, and Detroit is just unchecked as they enter into their offensive zone.
Now the Rangers holding it at the line. James Patrick with a shot that was blocked at the Detroit defense, and Gerard Gallant moves it through center, giving it to Yzerman. Yzerman, Fedek, and Gallant. Now they start to head off as Yzerman moved into forecheck. Hardy on the Ranger defense got it into center ice. It's turned over to King. King's pass into the Ranger zone, jumped over the stick of Jim Nill. Then he and Hardy pawed one another. Here's King. King goes back to Van Beesbroek, comes out on a backhander, can't make the pass. And Ogrodnik played it to the right side for Brian Mullen. Mullen gets over the line, got knocked down on the play, and the puck goes to O'Connell. Plays it up the left side. King puts it in center ice. The Rangers trying to move it back over the line. It was grabbed and hand passed ahead by Zombo. Now King is in a battle with David Shaw. Shaw wrestled to the ice, back on his skates quickly, and hammering away at King. Chris King and David Shaw. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel. You look at a portion of this capacity crowd at the Joe Louis Arena. Now Rob Schick explaining things to Mike O'Connell. Zombo appeared to grab the puck and hand passed it ahead. But Schick was busy watching what was going on with Shaw and King. And here's what was happening.
Well, Zombo just had the puck along the boards, and he didn't know exactly what to do with it. He says, look what I've got. What am I going to do now? He thought he was going to throw it in the crowd for a souvenir, and then it's a delay of game. He's just looking around. He said, well, I'll just give it up ice. And by now, King and Shaw got into it. And I think there's a couple pretty good shots here, and I think there was some blood on the ice right after. Someone got opened up on this thing, so it was not a harmless wrestling match. If they go down, they jump up, and they got up swinging. A couple of heavyweights there.
Indeed. Some major penalties for fighting at 14:32 of the third period. Detroit with a 4-2 lead. Teams remain at 6 aside. The Red Wings trying to win for the 20th time on home ice this season. They're 19, 13, and 6 coming in here. A year ago, they won 24 games at home. And last year at the end of the season, they were 15 points ahead of where they are right now. And we get some more pushing and shoving after the whistle. And 5 minutes, 12 seconds, all that's left in the third period. There's Chris King at the penalty box.
Well, David Shaw went off, and I don't know if he had to get taped up or stitched up. If you look down where that altercation was, looks to me like there's some blood on the ice there. I think someone caught a pretty good shot. Again, New York has got to do everything a little faster. They got to change faster. They got to have more of a tempo. They've just got to sacrifice a couple forecheckers quickly. When Detroit's in trouble in their defensive zone, they reverse all pucks, and New York has not adjusted to it.
Injury may have happened when his helmet, when they wrestled to the ice there, and the helmet crashed in. Meantime, here's Leach moving in. Nice play by Norwood to knock it away from him. And Shabbat has cleared the zone for the Red Wings. Lima tight on the boards. The puck goes back to Shabbat. To Delorme. Plays it up the right side. And is dumped down into the Ranger zone by Jim Nill. Time very much a factor on the Ranger side of things. They've got to get something going here. Eriksson brings the puck over the line. Dropped it for Sandstrom, whose shot was turned aside. Eriksson going back of the net. Hounded on the play by O'Connell. James Patrick centers one in front. What a stop by Steffen. He just robbed Sandstrom, who out of frustration goes after Torrey Robertson. Robertson pumps another right in over the shoulder, connecting with Sandstrom. Sandstrom, after getting it started, realized, I think, that he had Robertson and backed away. Herb?
Well, Thomas is not a fighter. I mean, he doesn't believe in it, but he's a big, strong, feisty type of guy. He's the type of guy that gets under your skin. But he's New York's leading scorer, and he should not be sitting in the penalty box right now. He should stay out of it.
Well, the Detroit Red Wings maintaining a 4-2 lead over the New York Rangers.
If you ask every American the meaning of success, you won't hear the same answer twice. Whatever your idea of succeeding, Citicorp and Citibank can help. With Citibank MasterCard and Visa cards, Citicorp Savings, Diners Club, and Citicorp Mortgage. We also serve millions of customers in every major marketplace worldwide. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Back at the Joe Louis Arena, let's take a look at some of the action a moment ago. Here is where Patrick makes the play, and then Sandstrom denied by Steffen. And there is Torrey Robertson, number 14. Uh-oh.
Well, they're just throwing back and forth. Thomas Sandstrom got the long reach, and he's just holding him off. But right before that, little pushing and shoving, Thomas Sandstrom showing the great hands he has, reaches into traffic, was able to hook out that puck, and almost got it underneath Steffen as he was going down.
Coincidental minor penalties at 15:45 of the third period. Robertson and Sandstrom.
Take that trade out, Jigs. New York's leading scorers off when they're down 2.
James Patrick up the middle, and the shot by Nyland. He scores his second of the night. Chris Nyland on the rebound, the centering pass across, actually. Nyland with his 7th of the season, and it's only a 1-goal Detroit lead.
Well, that's just unusual because Detroit, right after that, they usually just bear down on the thing. But it was a nice feed here by Lindy Ruff getting the puck up ice. And Chris Nyland, as we all know, is not a great goal scorer, but he got a nice pass from James Patrick. And again, no communication with the Detroit defenseman. And Nyland just positioned himself right, and he goes upstairs short side. 2 Detroit defensemen go after one guy, leaving Nyland wide open. And he just goes short side high, that's it. Steffen, again, he should just be zeroing on the shooter. Again, there was no communication, or little communication, by the Detroit defenseman.
Remember, at the 5-minute mark of this third period, Detroit led 4-1. It's now 4-3 as Leach scores at 5:44 and Nyland at 16:05. But there's a giveaway, and Gallant's shot is blocked. It hit Leach. Leach has been hurt. He goes back of the net, slumps to the ice. They're calling for the Ranger trainer, and Brian Leach.
Well, they can't afford to lose this guy. He's the quarterback. He makes this hockey club go. They've had enough injuries this year in New York, leading the league in injuries. They've had a lot of bad luck. Michel Bergeron has done a very good job keeping them in the hunt. But they can't afford to lose that quarterback back there.
Gallant in the slot. Ripped one, and the defenseman Brian Leach seemed to take it around the mouth area. Here's another look at it. There's Gallant, number 17.
Oh, yeah, it went right off. Went right off the stick. Right off the stick. No question, it just rode that stick. Again, I think it went off Petit and got Leach right in the face. Now, remember, Leach has got a half shield on also. So it had to get him in the lower part. He might be spitting out a few teeth on that one, Jakes.
Hate to think of that situation. As we've said all evening long, he makes the Rangers go. When he's in the lineup, they're really a force. In this game, he has scored his 23rd goal of the season, being assisted to his skates now, and will go toward the Ranger dressing room. But the Rangers have cut the margin to within 1.
Tonight's Sports Channel National Hockey League game was sponsored by Mercury Sable, where comfort and control are one.
Gretzky,
And they score with 2 seconds left.
Lemieux, Burke.
Shot, save, Burke.
Every hit, every shot, every save.
With more games than ever before, watch the NHL's brightest stars shine.
Well, we look at the situation from behind the New York Ranger goalkeeper, John Van Beesbroek. Brian Leach has been helped to the Ranger dressing room for some medical attention. 3 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in regulation time. We'll take another look at what happened as the puck goes to Gallant, number 17.
Gallant just has a good opportunity. Just sees a lot of net there. Nobody in front. Just took his time, and he's going to go to the far side, but Petit just stuck his stick in there, and again, it deflected right into the face of Brian Leach.
Teams are at 6 aside, and on the draw, Van Beesbroek playing the puck up the right side, out of the reach of Nyland. Here's Yzerman back of the net. Taken to the boards and held there by Hardy. The puck goes loose for Gallant. Moved it around behind the net. Barr plays it into the corner for Yzerman. Yzerman turning on the tight checking of Wilson. It comes loose in front, and Barr can't get a stick on it. A good play by Van Beesbroek to knock it away. Barr replacing the rookie Fedek on this line as we're down to the final few minutes of the third period. And Detroit protecting a one-goal lead. Gary Wilson making the play into center to Nyland. He moved it to the left side for Ogrodnik, who stayed on side. Now Ogrodnik trying to dig it off the boards. It goes to Chris Nyland. Went to center one to Wilson. Drops back to the point. Moved it in deep off of Grodnik's stick. Dave Barr plays it up around the boards, and Yzerman is able to clear the zone. Over comes Petit for the Rangers. Michel Petit plays it cross ice, so Grodnik gets to it. Regroups just inside the Ranger line as his team changes on the fly here. Grodnik moved it out, and Klima shoots it back in. Yzerman gets on side. Jim Nill started into forecheck. Now turns back, tying up Petit and the puck. And play called as it's frozen on the boards just inside the New York Ranger blue line. 2 minutes and 19 seconds is what Jacques Demers found when he looked up at the clock. Glenn Hanlon talking to his teammates. Now John Van Beesbroek getting a refreshment break.
Jigs, all of a sudden there was some exits to the crowd leaving. And all of a sudden, bang, New York came back within one. Everybody stopped. There's people standing around now in the walkways. They're not going to go back to the seats, but they're not going to leave the building either.
No, they were here the other night hoping that Detroit would clinch. They had themselves a 2-2 tie, and with 1 minute and 43 seconds in regulation, that disappeared on them as the St. Louis Blues won 3-2. Here tonight, they were coasting 4-1. And it's all of a sudden 4-3.
Jigs, when you look at number 25, New York, Johnny Ogrodnik, you have to think of the great years he's had here when he's a member of the Detroit Red Wings.
Yes, indeed. Oates moved in along with Jim Nill, and Peter Klima. Nill forechecking, but Mark Hardy for the Rangers has sprung Erickson at center ice. Drops it to James Patrick. Moves in, shoots that one off his skate. Ricocheted right to Adam Oates. He has cleared the zone. A loose puck. Being chased now by Patrick. 1 minute and 42 seconds left in regulation time. Patrick with a lead pass to Kissio. Dumps it in over the line. It was knocked down by Huda, and then the shot from Dolan is deflected. Huda bangs one off the boards. It ends up at center ice for Petit. We keep an eye on Van Beesbroek now as Petit puts it in the Ranger zone. Doug Huda playing it around to the far side. It hits Kissio. Comes back to the point. Lindy Ruff puts it back of the net. LaFleur calling for it here on the right side. It's centered across the front of the net, right to Oates. Van Beesbroek is still on the ice. Adam Oates clears it through center ice. Rangers with it again. Petit comes over center and dumps it in. Now Van Beesbroek goes to the Ranger bench. They get the extra man on. But Yzerman has come up with the puck. Plays it away from LaFleur to the left side for Burr. Can't clear the zone. Petit gets checked by Yzerman. Stevie Wonder with a backhander toward an empty net that skimmed the goal post. Lindy Ruff turns, taking it away from Yzerman, but now Burr is there. He shot one off the side of the net. Michel Petit starts out with 42 seconds left. The Rangers trailing 4-3 as the puck is dumped into the zone. We've got an octopus out on the ice. It's playoff time already. Norwood after the puck. He shoots it high down the boards into the Ranger zone. It'll be called back for icing. 26 seconds left in the third period. He saw that empty net, missed a couple of times by Detroit attempts, and here's an old hockey custom dating back to the Olympia and the glory years of the 50s. How do you want that, Herb? Deep fried? Broiled?
Oh,
boy.
better look at some of the players I've seen in this league, Jakes.
I'm not going to touch that line.
God, it's a tough league, you know. Guys get a lot of stitches and banged up, you know. Huh?
A beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, right out of, I don't know. Do you think they got that over in Windsor?
No, I kind of doubt that. I've often wondered, though, how they bring that to a game, hold on to it in the seats all night, waiting for the appropriate time, and then unload it. And whoever threw it has been pointed out by the fans, and they're not going to see the last 26 seconds of the game. The fans in the area where the octopi was unleashed.
No, Jakes, let's go back into a little X's and O's right here. Detroit was playing so well. They just backed off from their offensive game. They went into a shell. Again, they weren't forechecking. They weren't lugging the puck. They weren't trying to make any plays in the offense zone. Any question, dump it. And then what happened, it just took a little pressure off New York, at least in their defensive zone. They're able to pick things up. And then when Nyland scores with 3:35, again, New York was just, you know, the last 3-4 minutes, it's been New York. And Detroit has just backed off of a very solid game plan.
But now they've got this capacity crowd of 19,875 standing as one and rocking. 26 seconds left. The Ranger goal is empty. On the draw, the puck comes back to James Patrick. Fires one that was blocked. Yzerman reaching in has cleared the zone. The race is on. Dave Barr trying to move in around James Patrick, and he shot it wide. The Rangers with one last attempt, perhaps. Patrick over center, across he flipped it through. There's Nyland. He can't get a shot away. 5 seconds left, and the Rangers are forced out to center. The celebration is on. The Detroit Red Wings are the Norris Division champions back-to-back years. And Jacques Demers now moves out to join the celebration. Each of the last 2 seasons, he's been Coach of the Year. He's a people coach. Points up into the seats toward his wife.